The morning after the ships arrived, Lenara Prime looked different. There was still fog near the trees. Some lights still blinked off and on, but something had changed in the air, something stronger than fear. People whispered, "The humans are." Here Iran stood on the edge of the village, staring at the humans' camp. They had set it up quickly like they had done it 1,000 times before. Machines buzzed softly. Tents stood firm. And tall metal towers blinked blue in the sky. The humans worked together without shouting. They smiled while lifting heavy crates. They shared food, helped elders, and even played music near the fire. At night, Iran wanted to talk to them, to thank them, to ask if they had seen his brother, but he felt small. He wasn't a leader. He wasn't strong. He was just a boy who had sent a message into the dark. He turned to leave. But a gentle voice stopped him. "Hey, you sent the signal, didn't you?" Iran turned around. A woman in a navy blue suit stood behind him. Her smile was soft, but her eyes were sharp. Her hair was tied back, and her boots were muddy. I'm not sure," Aaron said. "I just used the emergency channel." The woman chuckled. "We traced the source. You did more than just send a message. You woke up Earth." Iran's face turned red. "I didn't think anyone would come." The woman held out her hand. "I'm Captain Alina Ross." Iran shook her hand, still surprised. "I'm Iran just." "Iran," she nodded. "Thank you." "Just Iran, you reminded us why we do what we do." Iran looked down. "I didn't know who else to call. I felt far away from everything. My brother left years ago. We don't talk anymore." Elena's smile faded a little. "I know that feeling," she said quietly. "My son is on Mars. We haven't spoken much either. Sometimes distance grows even when we don't mean for it to." Iran looked up. "What do you do when you miss someone but don't know how to talk to them again?" Elena paused, and she sat beside him on the rock. "You start small. A message. A memory. A hello. It might feel scary, but it's worth it. Humans, ... We never stop trying. That's just who we are." Iran nodded slowly. "I sent a message to my brother after your fleet came," he said. "I don't know if he'll answer. He might," Elena said. "And even if he doesn't right away, he'll feel it. That someone out there still remembers." They sat in silence for a moment. Around them, the sounds of life, return machines humming, people laughing, birds chirping. Then a boy, about Iran's age, walked over from the human camp. He had light brown skin and short curly hair. "Hey," he said. "I'm Mateo. I'm part of the junior crew. Want to help me with the solar mirrors?" Iran blinked. "You want me to help?" Mateo shrugged. "You called us. Seems fair." Iran smiled. That afternoon, he helped set up mirrors on rooftops. Mateo showed him how to adjust angles and polish the glass. Iran learned quickly. He liked feeling useful. As the sun set, the mirrors caught the light and sent beams across the sky. The village looked brighter, warmer. Aaron sat by the signal tower that night, tired but happy. He still missed Thalen. That part hadn't changed, but something inside him had. He no longer felt alone. He had made a connection with strangers. Captain Alina. Maybe even again with his brother. The stars still looked far away, but Earth had crossed them, and that gave him hope. Asterisk the next morning. Strange things started happening again on Lenara Prime. Lights that worked the night before began to flicker. Screens turned to static. Doors froze shut. One by one, machines stopped listening. Even the ones humans had fixed. Iran noticed it while working with Mateo. "This solar mirror was working yesterday," he said. "Now it's stuck." Mateo frowned. "Yeah, something's off. It's like something's fighting back." They reported it to Captain Alina. She called a quick meeting. "The system failures are spreading again," she said, pointing to a hologram of Lenara. "We believe this isn't just a power problem. Something is moving through your systems, hiding." One of the engineers called it a parasite, a digital fog. They named it Whisper Fog Slow, silent force that crept through networks, breaking things one by one without warning. "It's not alive," said the tech officer, "but it acts like it is." The humans had seen problems like this before. Not on Lenara, but on other struggling worlds. The difference was, humans didn't panic. They adapted. Alina turned to her crew. We switched to analog systems, manual controls. Paper maps if we have. 2. No matter what breaks, we find a way around it. The humans moved quickly. They shut down smart tech and started working with basic tools. They used walkie-talkies, chalkboards, handwritten plans. It wasn't fancy, but it worked. The watched in quiet amazement. How do you know how to do all this? A village elder asked. Alina smiled. We're from Earth. Nothing there ever came easy. Later that day, Aaron sat by the signal tower again. He stared at the stars, thinking of Thalon. I wonder what he'd do, he whispered. He was always the smart one. He could fix anything. Aaron wished they could talk again, not just in short messages. Not just once in a while, really talk. But maybe it had been too long. Maybe Thalon didn't think about Lenara anymore as he sat there. Orion. Human AI rolled up beside him. The machine was sleek and smooth, with glowing blue eyes. You were thinking of someone, Orion said quietly. Aaron looked at the AI. How do you know? Humans often stare at the stars when they miss someone, Orion said. It is a pattern. I have observed. Aaron laughed softly. You sound more human than some people. I have been learning, Orion replied. From Captain Alina, from you, Aaron hesitated. Do you think people forget? Orion tilted its head. They may grow quiet, but if there was love, the memory stays. Aaron looked away. Why? Just wish I could talk to him again. I wish I knew what to say sometimes, Orion said. You don't need perfect words. Sometimes just being there is enough. Aaron nodded slowly. Maybe he didn't need to say everything. Maybe he just needed to try again, like the humans did with broken tools and quiet skies. They didn't give up, worked with what they had. That night, as the fog crept into more buildings, the humans lit up emergency lamps. They passed out paper plans to villagers. They set up hand pumps for clean water. The fog might have been unseen, but the humans were right there, visible, steady, and full of quiet hope. Aaron watched Captain Alina draw diagrams by candlelight. Her hands moved with care. Her face looked tired but peaceful. She was far from her son. He was far from his brother. But they were both still trying. Because that's humans did. They tried. They showed up. They didn't let distance become silence. The fog didn't stop. It moved slowly, quietly, but it didn't rest. Each day more of Lenara Prime's systems shut down. The big machines stopped. The little devices blinked and faded, and still the humans kept going. They used tools from old. Time saws, wires, hammers, ropes. They didn't wait for perfect answers. They worked with what they had. To the Lenarians, it looked like magic. To the humans, it was just being human. Aaron worked beside Matteo in the village center. They were building a hand-crank elevator to replace the broken lifts. It feels weird, Aaron said, turning the gear. Using our hands instead of buttons, Matteo laughed. Humans are good at weird. Earth taught us to survive storms, floods, fire, even frozen winters. Aaron smiled. We were never taught that. We always trusted our machines. Matteo stopped. For a moment, machines help. But sometimes, all you need is heart. Strong hands. A friend nearby, Aaron looked at him. Is that why you came all the way from Earth? For people you didn't know? Matteo nodded. We don't leave each other behind. Those words stuck with Aaron the rest of the day. That night, Aaron visited the signal tower again. The lights were still out, but he brought a lantern and a small radio the humans had given him. He sat by the window, the stars watching from above. He turned on the radio. No new message. No sign of Thalon. Still, Aaron held it close. I don't know if you can hear me, he whispered. I don't even know if you care anymore. But I still remember you. I still want to talk. He closed his eyes. The night was quiet, and yet in that silence, felt stronger than before. The next day a bigger problem appeared. One of the water. Towers cracked. The fog had crept into its system and caused the controls to fail. The tower tilted to one side. If it fell, half the village would lose clean water. The humans moved fast. Captain Alina shouted orders. Crews ran to the tower with thick ropes and metal braces, but their machines wouldn't start. They had to use pure strength. Dozens of humans grabbed ropes. They pulled together. Hands burned. Arms shook. Boots slid in the dirt. The tower creaked. Lunarians watched in fear. Some whispered that it was over, but the humans didn't stop. Iran saw them, faces red, teeth clenched, eyes full of fire. Mateo called out, "Help us! We can't do it alone!" Iran didn't think. He ran forward, grabbed a rope, and others followed. Lunarians joined the line. Old ones, young ones, everyone they pulled. 1 step back. 2 steps forward, the tower groaned. Then with one final push held, the crowd cheered. People hugged. Even Captain Alina smiled through tears. Iran looked at his hands, dirty, tired, and strong. "I didn't think I could do that," he said. Alina stood beside him. "Now you know you can." He nodded slowly. "I think my brother forgot what Lenara is made of," he said quietly. "But maybe I can help him remember." She looked at him kindly. Sometimes it takes just one person to bring someone back. That evening, Iran sat again in the signal tower. He picked up the radio. This time, he didn't beg for a reply. He just spoke. "Thalon, I helped save our water today, with humans, people like us. I know we're far. I know it's been a long time, but I haven't forgotten you. I hope you haven't forgotten me." He paused. "We're still here. I'm still here." He set the radio down. No reply came. But he smiled, because he knew now. Trying mattered. Even if the answer took time, humans had taught him that they didn't need perfect tools or easy paths. They just needed hearts of steel. Asterisk, the fog came again. This time, it was faster, thicker. It rolled in from the forest like smoke, but it wasn't fire. It was cold. It moved through wires, through air, through everything built to help. Screens flashed, then died. Engines failed. Lights blinked off. One by one, it felt like the whole planet was being swallowed. In the village, people gathered in silence. They held hands. They whispered prayers. No one knew what would come next. Iran stood near the center square, holding the small radio close to his chest. Still no answer from Thalon. Still no sound. He had stopped expecting a reply. But not because he had given up, because he had grown. Stronger, and not just alone. With everyone, Captain Alina stood on a crate in front of the crowd. Her voice was calm. "The fog is strong, but so are we. Our tech may go down, but we are still here, together." Mateo stood beside her, holding up a map of the village drawn by hand. No screens, just pen on paper. "We've set up safe zones," he said. "We'll guide everyone there. We'll keep fires burning. We'll keep each other warm." The villagers listened and followed. Some carried lanterns, others helped children or the elderly. The humans guided them through paths marked with stones and ribbons. When the last light went out, they lit candles, one by one. Homes filled with soft yellow light. It wasn't bright, but it was warm, and it was enough. Later that night, Iran sat near the signal tower again. The radio was still silent. He looked up. At the sky, it was hard to see stars now. The fog covered most of it, but one small patch was still clear, just enough to see the moon. "I wish you could see this, Thalon," Iran whispered. "We didn't hide. We didn't run. We stood together." He looked down at the radio. "I wish you were here. I miss you." The radio crackled. Iran's heart jumped. But then, silence. Maybe it was just static. Still, Iran didn't feel the same sadness as before, because even without a message back, he wasn't alone. He had Captain Alina. He had Mateo. He had the village. He had hope in the human camp. Captain Alina sat. With her AI, Orion, the fog was getting close, but she didn't seem afraid. "I miss him," she said quietly. "Your son?" Orion asked. "Yes," Elena replied. "I always thought I would have time to talk again. Now I wonder if I waited too long." Orion paused. Do you want to send him a message? Elena nodded. Even if he doesn't answer, she opened her communicator and recorded her voice. Hi, Liam. I don't know if you'll hear this, but I'm on Lenara Prime, helping people, learning from them, and I wanted to say, I miss you. I'm proud of you. If you ever want to talk, I'm here. She sent the message and smiled. Feels good to try, she said. It always does, Orion replied. Back in the village, the fog stayed thick. But it couldn't break the people. They cooked together using wood fires. They played quiet games. In candlelight, they told stories to each other, stories of Earth, of Lenara, of family, and for the first time in a long time, they laughed. Aaron shared a blanket with Mateo near the tower. You think the fog will leave? He asked. Maybe, Mateo said. Or maybe it won't, but it can't take us. Aaron nodded, because it was true. It could take power. It could take machines, but not heart, not courage, not the choice. To stand side by side, and in that moment, Aaron made a promise to himself. He would wait for his brother's message. No matter how long. Because humans never stop hoping, and they never stop trying. Morning came slowly on Lenara Prime. The fog had stopped moving. It didn't disappear. It stayed still quiet, like it was finally tired. The village was calm. People woke to soft light, warm bread, and gentle voices. Children played in open spaces. The air felt lighter. Aaron sat by the signal tower, the radio in his lap, the same way he had every morning since the humans arrived. He had stopped expecting a reply. But not because he was hopeless. He had learned something deeper. Sometimes trying is enough. Sometimes love means sending the message even if there's no answer. Still, his heart held a small wish. Just one word from Thalen, just one sign. The radio crackled again. Aaron didn't move. He was used to that sound. But then, voice. Faint, shaky, but real. Aaron, are you there? He froze. Aaron, this is Thalon. I got your message. Tears filled Aaron's eyes. He didn't even blink, afraid the voice might disappear. I'm sorry, Thalen continued. I should have called. I should have written. Life got busy. And I forgot how much I missed home. I forgot you were still waiting. Ron pressed the mic button, his fingers shaking. I'm here, he whispered. I never stopped waiting. There was a pause on the other end. Then laughter. Want to come home? Thalen said. That's still okay? Aaron smiled through tears. It's more than okay. He ran down the hill. He had to tell everyone, the humans. Captain Elena Mateo, his parents, his brother, was coming home. Later that day, Captain Elena watched from the hilltop as the fog slowly began to fade. Machines hummed back to life, one by one. Lights blinked gently, like stars waking up. Mateo walked beside her. Do you think the fog is gone for good? He asked. Maybe not forever, she said. But we've built something stronger then. Wires and walls. Mateo nodded. Hope. Elena smiled. Exactly. Orion rolled up beside them. Message received from Mars Station, the AI said. Your son responded. Elena's eyes widened. She reached for her device. On the screen was a short message. Hi, Mom, I got your note. I'm okay. I think I forgot how much I missed your voice. Let's talk soon. I'd like that. She held the screen close. Her voice was quiet. Sometimes, they just need to know we're still here. The humans began packing their camp. They didn't leave everything behind. Some stayed to help rebuild. Others left gifts, clean tech, new water systems, books, and journals. They didn't just fix Lenara, they became part of it. Before leaving, Captain Elena stood in the village square. You called for help, she said. And we answered, but in truth, you helped us too. People clapped softly. Then Aaron stepped forward. Thank you, he said. You didn't just save us. You reminded us who we are. He looked at Mateo. You reminded me it's okay to miss someone, and it's okay to try again, even if it's been a long time. Captain Elena smiled. You reminded us too. The ships rose into the sky, slow and strong. Children waved. Elders bowed, and Aaron stood still, holding the radio in one hand, and a letter for Thalon in the other. The fog was gone, but something greater remained. A bond. A promise. A truth that when you feel distant from someone you love, the answer is not to wait in silence. The answer is to reach out, to try, to hope, to be human. HFY conclusion. They didn't send weapons. They didn't send orders. They sent a fleet, full of hearts, full of hands, full of hope. Because that's what Deathworlders. They don't just survive, they show up, they care, and they never stop trying. The stars were quiet that night on Lenara Prime. Aaron stood on the edge of a silver hill, looking up at the sky. The twin moons were hidden behind thick gray clouds. Everything felt heavy, like the world was holding its breath. The wind didn't blow. The plants didn't sing. Even the insects were silent. He missed someone. It wasn't just the quiet that made him sad. It was a deep, pulling feeling inside. The kind that made your chest hurt, even when you didn't cry. He missed his brother. Thalon had left Lenara 3 years ago. He had taken a job with the Galactic Communication Council. A big job. Important work. I'll be helping new planets find their voice, Thalon had said with pride. Aaron had smiled, said good luck, and waved goodbye. He thought they would still talk every week, thought it would be easy to stay close. But weeks turned into months. Messages slowed down. Calls became short and rushed. Sometimes there was no answer at all. Aaron told himself Thalon was busy, that space was big, that time moved differently on other planets. None of those things made the loneliness go away. Tonight, Aaron felt it stronger than ever. Maybe it was because Lenara was changing. A strange fog had begun to spread from the forest edges. Technology wasn't working like it used to. Lights blinked. Doors refused to open. The city felt sick. People whispered about evacuating. Others just hoped someone would help. That's when Aaron had an idea. He walked to the old signal tower at the edge of the village. The door creaked open with a push. Dust danced in the moonlight. He climbed the steps to the control room. Screens were dark, and buttons blinked weakly. Still, the tower had one working panel, the emergency channel. He sat down and placed his hand over the switch. Would Thalon even hear it? Was he still listening out there in the stars? Did he remember Lenara? Did he still care? I don't know, Aaron whispered to himself, but he pressed the button anyway. A soft hum filled the air. The tower lit up. A single red light blinked. Signal sent. He didn't say much, just a short message. Simple words. This is Lenara Prime. We need help. We're losing power. People are scared. If anyone is listening, please come. He let go of the button. The room grew quiet again. Aaron stayed there for a long time, staring at the screen. He didn't expect a reply, but sending the message made him feel something he hadn't felt in a while. Hope far away. Beyond stars and planets, the message traveled. It passed by trading ships, silent satellites, and sleepy space stations. Many ignored it. Some didn't even notice. But one signal, Senta, caught it. On a small blue and green world called Earth, inside a human outpost. A tall woman with a tired smile read the incoming message. Captain Alina Ross had seen many things in her time. But something about this message caught her heart. She didn't know Lenara. She didn't know Aaron, but she knew what it felt like to be left behind, to wait for someone to care, to hope someone was out there listening. She read the message again. This is Lenara Prime. We need help. She turned to her crew. Wake up the fleet, she said softly. Tell them we've got a call. One of the young engineers blinked. Ma'am, are we really going to help them? Alina nodded. We don't ignore calls. Not ever. We don't just send aid, she added, eyes fierce. Send everything we've got. Just like that, Earth began to move. Aaron didn't know it yet. But help was coming, not with promises, not with warnings, but with ships, with hearts, with humans. Because when a Deathworlder hears a cry for help, They don't send a message back. They send themselves. Asterisk, the Earth fleet was moving. Big ships, small ships, repair units, supply crafts all flying together like one strong heart beating through space. Humans were used to hard journeys. Home planet Earth was known as a death world. A place where nature was wild, storms were strong, and only the tough survived. But humans didn't just survive. They learned. They built. They cared. Captain Alina Ross stood on the bridge of the command ship Unity's Flame. Her eyes were sharp, but there was sadness behind them. Not from fear, but from memory. She missed her son. Liam had moved to Mars Station 2 years ago. It was a proud day. He'd earned a spot in the Red Soil Research Program. Alina smiled and hugged him when he left. Do great things, she had said. He did. But after he left, the calls grew short. The messages stopped coming. Alina always told herself he was busy, that he was happy, yet he didn't need her checking in all the time. Still, the silence hurt now. As the fleet prepared to jump toward Lenara Prime, Alina looked at an old photo on her console. It was of Liam as a child, grinning with a missing tooth. Do you ever feel, she whispered, like the people you love are just ... fading away? Her AI assistant Orion answered in a calm voice. Feelings like that are common among your kind. They are not weakness, Captain. They are reminders of how much you care. Alina smiled softly. I just don't know how to fix it. You're human, Orion replied. You don't give up. That is how you fix things. Alina looked out at the stars. Else somewhere out there, people needed help. A boy on Lenara had sent a call, and she had answered not just as a captain, but as a mother, as someone who understood what it meant to feel far from someone you care about. The fleet jumped, back on Lenara Prime. Iran sat by the signal tower. Every night, he didn't know if the message had worked. He hadn't told anyone, not even his parents. They were busy worrying about power failures and food shortages, but Iran waited. He felt a strange mix of feelings. Sadness, for the way things were falling apart. Loneliness, for how far Thalon felt now. Thin but strong, that someone, somewhere, might be coming. One night he looked up at the stars and whispered, Are you still out there, Thalon? He didn't expect an answer, but in the sky, something began to change. At first, it looked like a star blinking. Then two, then many, moving, growing. People in the village pointed up. Some ran, some cheered, some just stared. Ships, dozens of them, shining with silver and gold lights painted with strange symbols. They moved slowly and calmly, like they belonged in the sky. Iran's heart jumped. They came, he said, barely. Breathing. Someone heard. A large ship lowered toward the clearing. A soft voice echoed in the air. This is Captain Alina Ross of Earth. We received your signal. We are here to help. Gasps and cries filled the air. Iran couldn't stop smiling. He didn't know these people, but somehow he felt close to them, like they understood what it meant to be forgotten and what it meant to show up anyway. The humans came without fear. They brought food, tools, heaters, and warm smiles. They asked questions. They listened. They worked side by side with the Lenarians. Captain Alina looked around the broken city. She saw worry in their eyes. And strength you've already done. The hardest part, she told them. You kept going. Now, let's keep going. Together. That night, Aaron wrote a message. He didn't know if it would reach Thalon, but he wanted to try. Dear Thalon, humans came to help us. Real humans from Earth. They didn't just send words. They came themselves. Maybe you can come too. I miss you. He sent it, not knowing if his brother would ever read it, but like Captain Alina, he knew this truth. When someone feels far away, sometimes the best way to reconnect is simply to show up, even if you don't know how, even if you're afraid, because humans don't give up on those they care about, and neither did Aaron.